Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am Martina Lily and today we are carrying on with my makeup collection slash a little bit of declutter series. I've currently done my complexion products and my bronzers, highlighters and blushes, so those videos will be linked down below for you guys if you're interested. And now today we are going to move on to the eyeshadow collection. So it's a big one, it's going to be a very long video. And not sure if I'll be decluttering any. We'll see as we go along. I do love my eyeshadow palettes, as you know. But yeah, hopefully that sounds interesting to you guys. If it does, go ahead and do the YouTubey things like subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it. Super quickly before we get into the collection tour slash declutter, just a couple of caveats. By no means am I saying that you have to have all of this makeup. Absolutely not. This is just what brings me joy. Whether I was on YouTube or not, it brings me a lot of joy. I love makeup, okay? Whether you have a minimalist collection or an excessive collection, this is a judgment-free zone around here and you do what makes you happy. None of the makeup just gets tossed in the bin. Like, if it's expired, it does. But I have a lot of friends and family that get very excited at this time of year when it is time to declutter and they get to get all of the makeup in their collection. So yeah, don't you worry. I think that's kind of it. Yeah, let's get into it. Currently I have all of my eyeshadow palettes spread over 4 drawers. Yeah, I know. So let's do drawer 1, which is most of my luxury quads, quints, or smaller palettes. I also have another drawer with my Tom Ford quads and that as well. So let's just start with drawer 1, shall we? Let me zoom in a little. There we go. Let's start with Chanel. No better place to start if you ask me. So this one is the Chanel Rivage, 78 Rivage quad. This is from a limited edition collection this year and I think this sold out so fast everywhere around the world. It's nice. I personally I really like this one shade here. The rest of them are nice shades, don't get me wrong, but nothing in terms of sellout worthy if you ask me. Again, Chanel's depending on the quad, actually, this quad is more of a softer, more subtle type formula, not too intense. This little sparkle shade, though, does have a little bit of intensity to it, but overall it's more of a softer finish formula, but this shade is absolutely lovely, especially as a one and done. So I will be keeping that one. This one is the Viseart 318 Paru 21 collection. This is from last year's holiday collection, this one right here. It's beautiful. This shadow right here, oh my goodness, look at that. It is so pretty. This has a bit more intensity to it than the Rivage quad, but this one's still a very nice soft satin baked type formula. Really nice. The Chanel formula is really nice for mature lids, textured lids, or someone that just wants a softer wash of shadow on the eyes, or is almost a little bit intimidated by shadow and just wants a really easy, no matter your skill level, shadow that's going to look good no matter what. Then Chanel is perfect for that. But I personally, I really like this quad. The disappointing thing about a lot of Chanel products is they do so many limited edition collections that you can't get again, and I wish a lot of their products were permanent because there's some limited edition stuff they bring out that's true holy grails. This one is one of the newer Chanel palettes I've picked up. This is the one of the Le Beiges ones. It's actually in the shade medium and it looks so boring. Does that not look so boring? And even to swatch this, so boring. On the eyes, chef's kiss. What an amazing formula on the eyes. Each of these is one and done. If you're someone that wants a very soft, neutral, more cool tone leaning, smoky eye, this is the palette for you. That's really soft and just everyday friendly. If you find smoky eyes too deep for you a lot of the time, this is the palette you want. I quite often use either this shade or this shade as a one and done, just a wash over the lid to pull my look together and look quite chic, but just be fuss free. I actually it looks so boring. When I picked it up, it was more to try the formula. Regret nothing. And then my last Chanel quad is definitely my favorite. I think this one was limited edition as well, and I'm pretty sure it sold out super fast. This is the Eclat de Nuit. Oh my goodness, this needs to be permanent, you guys. Ugh. Look at this shade. Look at it. This is intense. Like, this isn't necessarily like a super soft wash of color palette. It is, but that gunmetal silver shade right here, oh my gosh, it can be built up to be so stunning. This quad, chef's kiss. Like, this is a one, any of these really is a one and done, but like, well, maybe not the black, but depends on your skin tone, right? But this just is, it's so chic. It's like this perfect, like, cool tony, chic, easy to use goodness formula. Everything about this is incredible, and I know some of you guys picked up like 2 of these or 3 of these because you didn't ever want to be without it because it's limited edition, and I actually get it. This is such a good quad. I have 2 Dior quints. This one is soft cashmere, and this is actually in the old formula. I don't have a quint in the new formula. Again, really pretty, really soft baked formula. Like, ugh, isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely stunning. All of these are great as one and dones, all of them. You kind of got more of like a soft satin finish, something a little bit more sparkly, even a little bit more sparkly here. Then you've got like a more matte finish. Absolutely beautiful. This is like one of those Dior quints that's like really nice to have in the collection, like a core staple. So again, really love this. I think the formula is lovely, but I haven't actually, no, is this the new formula? Yeah, no, this is the old formula. So I haven't tried the new formula, which I know some people have said have been quite disappointing, but I really love this one. This one is a limited edition one in Early Bird. And I just, who knows why I picked this up for this mustard shade right here? Yeah, you bet. And this on the eye is so gorgeous. It's like a baked, gel, like cream to powder type gel product. It's so nice. But even like these have a lot more kick to them than what you think. Like, see that? It's definitely a more intense quint, which you can't get this anymore, but I absolutely love having it. I think the color story is so unique and pretty. This is the Givenchy palette. It's in LE 9.9 and it's the more like pinky one. This was so disappointing. I've actually don't even know if I've really ever used this since like me trying it. It's, look, I don't mind a luxury soft formula, but this was even too soft for me. But it could also be that it's more pink leaning. I don't lean towards pinks on the everyday, but I do like this kind of one. They're a nice formula, don't get me wrong. It's just, it didn't really wow me a whole lot. It really didn't. It was a bit too soft even for my preference, like how my preferences have changed. So yeah, I'll keep it because it's Givenchy and I like to have the luxury formulas in my collection for reference, but I would be tempted to declutter this as well, but I will keep it for now. This is the Guerlain quad in Imperial Moon and I love this. My husband actually got me this for Christmas. I love it so much. Again, so good. Each of these 3 shades are really nice, like one and dones. You can build this one up to be quite intense. I love this quad. It is, oh, and it looks so beautiful and chic on the eyes. Really beautiful baked, like high-end, again, kind of like a cream to powder velvety formula almost, just a high luxe formula. This is actually the only quad from Guerlain that I've liked the color story of. I find their quads are always like really pink and red leaning, which is just not my vibe. I know they had those 2 brown quads, which I was interested in picking up, but they, my friend Mariam A here on YouTube, she picked one up or picked both of them up and they're like they're not this formula. She said their formula is just really average, so I didn't end up picking them up. So I'd like to see them come out with some different color stories, but I do really love this. These are my 2 Clé de Peau quads and I love them. I love them. They don't have the names on here. I can't remember the names, but this one's CMOS or something. I love this formula so much. It's such a beautiful luxury formula. These little shades right here are like eye primer type formulas, and then you have like this beautiful suede velvet cream to matte, it's not a cream to powder matte, it's like a suede velvet type formula, and then like the most stunning, like really, it's like a cream type shadow for the metallics, and I really like this green one because it's like a really soft, wearable, grungy quad where if I want to wear something that's like a bit more grungy but not too deep. I don't like too dark of an eyeshadow on my lids. I just find for me it doesn't suit me as well. So this like gives me that effect, but not being like too deep and overpowering. And I just absolutely think the formula of the Clé de Peau quads is like one of the best around. These are absolutely stunning. You watch, next year is Clé de Peau's year for me. After I've done Chanel this year, Clé de Peau is the brand I want to deep dive into. I mean, don't we all absolutely love the YSL quads? Because I sure do. This one is Storadol's. Yeah, I have a vibe, like all of these color stories. I don't mind that I have so many of the same color stories though. I try these things for the formulas, and this is like kind of like the Clé de Peau formula actually. Very, very soft and suede-like and just impeccable. And this sparkle has so much more, like you can kind of make it subtle, but you can amp this up as well. I think everyone who has tried this formula from YSL like raves and raves and raves about it, and it's worthy of that. It's really an impeccable formula, and like great as well, like for any skill level. I did just pick up the holiday quad that they released, so I'm excited to get it and try it. The Prada Quint, I think this is, no, quad, it's a quad. Again, another one like that luxury suede formula. Really, really a stunning one. And then again, this metallic is like got so much more amped upness to it than what you anticipate. The Prada quad formula, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Very similar to the YSL one. Really stunning. I just haven't picked up. There's actually one that's got the yellow in it that I wouldn't mind picking up from Prada, but I'd like to see different color stories released from the brand. But if you're interested in any of them, honestly, grab it. It's truly a great formula. Rabanne quads. I have Feel My Vibe, which is my favorite because one, look at this, and again, it's that suede formula that all of these luxury brands have. And then I really like these because they're very, very like this one you can kind of, the pinky one you can kind of like amp up, and this blue one on the lids, it looks completely different, even to like what it will look like on my finger. It's like, it's so soft and wearable and really, really stunning on the lids in a way that I can't describe. Like there'll be a video, if you put on my like YouTube, if you search my name with like Rabanne, me using this quad will come up, and the look with this like blue shade, it's so gorgeous. I reach for this quad quite often to create a look with like these two shades or these three shades. It's absolutely stunning. And then this one is Paradise Lost and Found, and it's again, it's kind of like, it's a beautiful green one, and it's got like, you know, a VR fire opal type shade, and then like this beautiful green one too, and then this one, and then this beautiful like dark green suede matte. Again, it's kind of like a nice soft, really chic green palette when I don't want it to be like too intense. Oh, so beautiful. I say it all the time, Rabanne is so slept on as a brand, truly. This is the Dior Backstage Smoky Essentials 9-pan, and I love this. This is like a palette full of one and dones. I've got a couple of looks using this on my channel, and I love just popping any of these shades really over the lid as one and dones. I just think they're absolutely beautiful. Not as suede and silky as what the like YSL, the Clé de Peau kind of formulas are, but on the verge while still being quite a powder. But yeah, this is a nice color story and a nice formula. Actually, I quite like it. These are the two little Sigma quads. So this one is Tiramisu, and really nice like little cool tone neutral quad if you're looking for that. And then this one's Caramel Apple, and again, same thing, like really, really cute little quads, and actually a really nice little formula. I quite like these, and these are super affordable. You can quite often get them on sale, and they're super light. So if you're someone that's looking for just like the perfect quad for you with a nice formula, easy to use, but can be built up a little bit more than say like a luxury quad like Chanel, and is super light, so you can like throw it in your bag or whatever, then these are worth a look in. I'm gonna declutter these, not because I don't like them, because I do, but there's a palette that I have from Sigma that has pretty much, maybe not the green, but I mean, you can see how much eyeshadow I have, right? So I'm not going to reach for these over the other Sigma palette I have, plus all the other quads I have. So these can go to someone that's going to absolutely love them, but I do recommend them. So I'm not decluttering them because I don't like them. They just will get more use elsewhere. This is an Hourglass little trio that I created for my full face of Hourglass. So that's on my channel as well. These are so expensive. I don't recommend these for the price. Like each one of these shadows individually was like $45–50. Ridiculous, but they are pretty, but they're absolutely not worth that cost, I can assure you. But they're pretty. If you really want to try them, they're nice. You probably won't like be disappointed because the quality is nice, but it's just not worth the price point compared to others. But I'm definitely keeping them. This is the Shansekai Cougar Eye Quad. I think this came out like maybe 2022. And I picked it up because I'd never tried their formula, and Mecca had it on sale for like $30 or something, so I bought it really cheap. I don't know if it's, I think it's the color story. You would think I would really like this, but I've used it a couple of times and I really have not been wowed by it at all. So I'm actually going to declutter it because you can't get it anymore anyway. These are two little Victoria Beckham eyeshadow bricks. So I have Tweed and Silk. Oh my gosh, why can't I open this? There we go. And I really like these. I think they are very, very cute. Nice formula. Like, this is a traditional powder formula. So it's not like a creamy suede formula like a luxury one. And these are like a buttery type metallic formula, nothing too intense. If you have kind of mature lids and stuff, you will really like that formula. If you love Victoria Beckham and you love the aesthetic of them and everything, like, and they have a color story that really just wows you, you'll like them. They're a nice formula. I wouldn't say they're my holy grail formula, but they're a nice formula. And I really like keeping them. I really love the Victoria Beckham brand, so I like having them in my collection. So this is my Tom Ford quad collection. Yeah, it's growing. It's grown to 12. I mean, it grew very quickly, to be fair. I'm not going to declutter any of these, even though there are a couple that I would, and I'll tell you which ones I would. But again, this is one of those ones where, one, they're really expensive. I've paid a lot of money for them. I'm going to keep them. And two, I just really like to have them in my collection. It's like the collector in me. So yeah, let's go through them, but I'm not decluttering, but I'll tell you the ones that I would. So this is it was from the Badass like limited edition collection. I love the packaging. This one's Metal Lust, which is one quad that Tom Ford should have made absolutely permanent, especially this formula, because this formula is incredible. Even the mattes in here are really, really good. It's one of those quads, again, I could probably honestly even nearly just have this one quad in my collection and be happy. Like, it's just beautiful, and I love, like, this formula has just more intensity to it. It's absolutely stunning. And it sucks you can't get it anymore. And then this one is the other quad they brought out in this limited edition collection. It's Lava Luster. Again, same formula, absolutely beautiful. Oof. I also have like a video of me ranking my Tom Ford quads where there will be a couple missing, but most of them are in that video, so you can see swatches and stuff. And I've done a look with like all of these on my channel. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is Nude Dip, another classic. I mean, this is the wet dry formula, and this is a really nice one for like everyday one and done. Soft wash of color over the lids. Really pretty though. Like, looks so chic and lovely on the eyes. A really nice like formula to have in your collection. So yeah, I really like the Tom Ford wet dry formula. This one is Smoky Quartz, one of my favorites. This is the cream formula from the Tom Ford quads, and this is probably my favorite formula from them. I absolutely love this. Again, like, I love these as one and dones. I use it so often. Like, even look how much I've used of this shadow. Like, I really, really love this formula from Tom Ford. It's truly, it's a formula I highly recommend. It's just gorgeous on the eyes, easy to use, love it. Rose Topaz, which is my favorite. Like, look, I've hit pan on this shadow. This is a cream formula. I freaking love this. This is a one and done. It's so stunning, and I really, really like this one on the lids too. It's like a really nice soft kind of sparkly shade. Absolutely love it. Yeah, Rose Topaz and Smoky Quartz. They're must-haves for me. This is one of the newest Tom Ford quads I own. This is, what's it called again? Meteoric, and it sucks. This is a Tom Ford quad that I do not recommend you buy. If you kind of look at my recent videos, there's a video of me trying this, and it's so sad on the lids, truly. Like, it's so unimpressive. It looks pretty there, but it's really unimpressive. You have to work quite hard to get it to look nice. So yeah, I really recommend skipping this. I haven't seen it out anywhere else than when it came out for us in Australia. When it comes out for you, honestly, I really don't recommend it. This one is Violet Sateen, also a cream formula, and really, really pretty. Really pretty. Oh, I just love the cream formula so much. Like, look at this one. Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And then this one's Tiger Eye, which is another cream formula. And I could probably declutter this. I actually don't really use this one as much. I don't like it. It's got a bit more, see how it's like a pearly type cream formula? I like the matte one more. I don't always really lean towards this, but as I'm looking at that now, oh, that is really pretty though, isn't it? So I still love it, and I'm not getting rid of it. And I love the cream formula, so what can I say? These two I got, one of them I got for the colour story. I'll touch on that in a second, but this one I've hunted down. I hunted this down for well and truly over a year. I actually got this on my wedding trip when me and my husband eloped to Vegas in the Tom Ford store in Caesar's Palace, and it wasn't out on display. I just asked the shop assistant if they had it, and they did, and I was like, oh my god, I have been looking for it for so long. So the reason why is the packaging, which is now dirty and gross. Let me give it a wipe. And I know this might not be exciting to a lot of people, but this kind of like baby pink with the black, it's just my vibe. Pink is my favorite color. When I saw this, I wanted my hands on it. And this is the wet dry formula in Body Heat, which is like, anytime they kind of bring out a limited edition type quad, they seem to bring out Body Heat, and Body Heat's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. Like, look at those shades. Absolutely lovely. And I love the wet dry formula. Like, it's really, really nice. But I will admit, I purely got this one for packaging. This one wasn't out at the time, and I hunted this down, truly. And I regret nothing. And then the Tom Ford Gods gifted me with another one in the pink and black packaging, which I immediately was like, I'm getting it. And then secondly, it was a cream formula, so I was doubly like, I'm getting it. And then look how pretty the color story is. This is Forbidden Pink. Oh, I love this one too. I love it so much. Look at it. It's absolutely beautiful. This color story, this formula, this packaging, everything about this makes me so happy, I'm not gonna lie. This one I wanted for ages. It's called Cherry Smoke, and I'm a sucker for cherries, okay? So I picked this up, and I would not pick this up again. In fact, I would honestly declutter this. It's really... one, I don't like. Why did I pick this up for this color story? I'm never going to wear this color story. If you like red shadows, then yes, this is going to be a color story for you. And it's not that bad of a formula, but it's just, the formula is nothing wowing, then coupled with the color story. But I do like the packaging. It's kind of slightly, I don't know, you won't be able to see it on camera, but it's slightly red. It's really cute. And then this is my last cream quad. It is, yeah, Velour's Khaki. I like this too. It's kind of like the Clé de Peau green quad, where it's like nice, soft and grungy. That's what this is. Oh, look at it. It's so, oh, it's so nice. I love it. I love it. I love the formula. So yeah, I guess I was only going to declutter like 2 of those, maybe 3. But I'm keeping them all just for reference point. This is my Eldridge eyeshadow collection. Say it with me. You will pry this from my cold dead hands. No way am I giving you or giving away any of my Eldridge eyeshadows. I love her formula. Probably, I don't know if it's the most, but it's right up there being the most. Like, I love her formula. So I'm just going to show you what each one of these look like, okay? This one is Sorcery. My second favorite, I think, or my third favorite. I love this shade. Look at it. It's so shifty. It's amazing. Look, I have a whole Lisa Eldridge playlist. I've done a video of an in-depth review and multiple looks of every single one of these palettes on my channel, so check out that playlist if you want to see more. But yeah, Sorcery is incredible. Love it. This one is Muse, which... No, she still has this one. So this is more of like the pinky one. This is actually my least favorite just because I don't super love the tones, and the mattes are lovely in here, but the metallics are the least exciting for me in the collection. So this one would actually be my least favorite. This one is Myth, and this one's actually discontinued, and I think she's bringing out an updated version of this one, but I do really like them because those kind of like smoky eggplanty colors are so stunning. But this one would be my second to least favorite. It's just not like super duper my tones, but I still love it. I can't wait to see the updated color story. This one's Cinnabar, so like the warm toned neutral perfection. Like, oh, this shadow, absolutely gorgeous. This one I think got discontinued as well because she's bringing out an updated version of Cinnabar. I think this is so gorgeous. I think you can still get the singles maybe though on her site, but yeah, I love Cinnabar. It's amazing. Vega is my favorite. Look at how much I've hit pan. I'm gonna need to replace this. I use French press all the time. It's like a go-to for me, but I love the metallics in here. I love these two. I love Vega. Vega is just pure perfection in my mind. Pure, it doesn't get better than Vega. This is probably one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time. And then this one is her new one, Fawn, which I also love. I love these two mattes, and this, surprisingly, on the lids is impressive. I don't know how to describe this on the lids, but it is so beautiful. Like, so much more beautiful than I ever anticipated. So yeah. No, I don't wish to get rid of any of those. I don't know how to put these so they look aesthetic. So anyway, this is my Viseart eyeshadow palette collection. I didn't buy all of these on my own though, okay? I got quite a few of these actually gifted to me from my beautiful friend Melina in Texas. We sent each other like different eyeshadow palettes that we knew each other would like that we had in our collection. Let's do it by section. Let's do the bigger ones, then the middle, then the mini, shall we? So this is my like bigger palette collection. This is one of my all-time favorites. This is Cashmere. I wore this on my wedding day. I love it. I think it's beautiful. Viseart's formula is a really like soft, any skill level can use this formula and it will look beautiful, really easily blendable, and their metallics can range from quite a subtle metallic to a bit more like oomph metallic, and all of their shadows like pop out of their palettes, which I personally love because then you can like chop and change and create your like most perfect palettes. I really love the Viseart eyeshadow collection, and Cashmere is probably my favorite out of all of them, to be honest with you. I absolutely love it. Again, I have a heap of videos with like Cashmere and stuff on my channel. Then I have Paris Love Letter, which I think Paris Love Letter might have been my first Viseart palette ever, and I love it again. A really nice one that if you want to introduce a little pop of colour in a non-intimidating way, this is going to be great for you. And I love this one. Like, look how much I've used it. Just a really nice versatile palette. Quite often I take like these two away with me because I feel like it's like every kind of occasion I could possibly need between these two. So yeah, I really love them. One that really disappointed me, and honestly probably I got it this year, so next year I'll probably declutter this. This is the Paris Reveries palette. It's like their newest one from this year. It just was so lackluster. Like the quality wasn't really there. It was really like wishy-washy. I don't know. This did not hit the mark for me in any way. And it was not the Viseart quality I know and love personally. So I don't know. The metallics were okay, but nothing like, it's also like these colors, like the problem that I'm starting to get with Viseart is I'm feeling like their color stories are really, really repetitive, and they're always kind of like skewing like this. So I want to see a little bit more nuanced and different color stories and stuff from the brand. I'd like to see them change up their formula a little bit just to, you know, give us something different. These two are absolutely gorgeous though. Cashmere Charmeuse is probably like maybe even more my favorite than the Cashmere one. I don't know, but I love it. Like, look at how cool this shade is. It's really unique and it looks awesome on the eyes. And then this one's like a duochrome, which I probably can't show you, but it's they're cool. These shadows, this is like awesome quality. These two, like, they're amazing. Like, highly recommend this one. And same with Violette Vespertine. This one's just not as much of a fave color story. And saying that though, I really do like yeah, no, I like this color story, but I like the other two Cashmere color stories more. But yeah, this is equally beautiful. Formulas like A grade, absolutely gorgeous. And like that beautiful smoky type purple leaning. It's really stunning. Let's start off with the Petite Koi. Really cute. Look at how cute it is. This shade is my favorite. It's so pretty. Look at that. Really pretty. This one's like a really nice one if you want a small little palette that has these little pops of colors in it that are super like non-intimidating, whereas like pops of color, and you just want to have it just in case you want some color. You know what I mean? How many times can I say color? Then this is like the perfect palette and a great formula. I really like that one. So cute. This one is the Dark Edit, and I love it for this shade right here. I use this shade quite a bit. Again, wonderful formula. Great color story, especially if you're looking for that dark edit. But yeah, this like khaki, I love it so much. Absolutely gorgeous. My friend Melina gave me this one. This one is the Paris edit, which my friend Melina also gave. Like, I like to call this a romantic color story. If you're kind of like a lighter skin tone, because it won't suit deeper skin tones, I don't think. But it's just, yeah, I like to call this the romantic palette out of all of the petites. Very, very cute. This one's the Rosé edit. Very cute as well. I love this tone. I really love this tone and like this one. Oh, they're so lovely. Absolutely cute. But you can kind of see there's a lot of colors that overlap within these. And this is the Warm edit. So really nice if you want warm eyeshadows, right? Like these two are absolutely gorgeous. I use this one the least, because I don't super love warm eyeshadows, I'll be honest. And then this one is the Petites Dark, which, look, I love them. Again, I love this color. I love this one, this one. Just a nice, like, nice to have with these different kind of colors that you might not have in like every palette, but if you want them, you've got them. And again, a really great formula, and these can all pop out as well. And then this is like such a core staple. This is the Petite Matte Neutral. And I just love having this. I think it's self-explanatory. It's kind of like the Mario All Matte palette as well. But I love the Viseart Matte formula, and I like taking this and you can just use it with any kind of metallic palette or whatever. And it has every kind of color story I could want in it. So I really like this one too. And then now we just have the little itty bitty babies right here. So this one is the London Little Petite. I can't remember if I got this last year or the year before. I think it was the year before. I wasn't going to pick it up and you guys asked me to, and I'm so glad I did, because one, this shade is gorgeous, and like this one, oh, look at it. There's some really pretty shades in here. They're so lovely. I've actually used this way more than I thought I was ever going to. So yeah, I really like that one, and great formula. There's only the Paris Riviera's formula that I haven't liked from them, by the way. This one is the Petite Pro, and I love it because I love this yellow. I love the yellow. I've always wanted this for the yellow, so my friend Melina sent me this and I was so excited because I don't know what it is about this yellow, but it just screams to me. This one is the Petite Chow Chow, which is so cute. My friend Melina sent me this as well, and I love it because I just love the combination of the hot pinks with like the silver. Look at them. Oh, look at that silver. Look at it. Wow. So good. Such a cute little palette. This one is the San Francisco one, and again, look at this color story. Look. This is one of my favorites because like this and this, and then you pop it with this green. No, you stop it. You stop it right now. Look how amazing that is. It's such a good quality. And then you've got the neutrals. I love it. I actually often travel with this one as well because it's so good. And then last but not least, we have the Apricotine, which is just a really nice, cute little warm mini palette. Right? Perfect for the everyday. So, so, so cute. My friend Melina sent me that as well. So yeah, I'm not getting rid of any of my Viseart ones because I love them to death. Okay, so here's the next lot of palettes. These are kind of all of, well, not mainly because there is a couple of higher brands in here like NARS and Mario and Charlotte Tilbury, but a lot of these are more like indie brands, a lot of Odin's Eye, that kind of a thing. So let's have a look-see, shall we? NARS Climax. I mean, what a classic. I'm not getting rid of this. What a classic. It's so good. Why did NARS, like, why did they make this limited edition? They were silly. It should not be limited edition. I really wish they'd bring this back and make it permanent, but yeah, I'm gonna keep it because it's so good. This one is NARS Afterglow, which again, my beautiful friend Melina sent me. It's very, very cute, but I gotta admit, it's probably just not fully my color story. So I think I might actually move this one along to someone who will love it just as much. This is Sigma New Mod. I actually got sent this in PR and I really think it's super cute. I really like this purple shade right here. And this one. They're very cute. So yeah, I quite like that one. Fluorasis. I don't know what this is called because I can't read Chinese, but the quality, I mean, one, look at the beauty. I've kind of smudged it all, but the quality of this, you guys, it's really, really good. Like, not only is this brand absolutely stunning to look at, but the quality of it is perfect, like amazing. I also have this little one, which is like this really cute all matte, well, it's almost all matte, brown palette, and I really like this. Like, I really like all the tones and everything, and like, look how pretty it is. So stunning. So I love that. I mean, Sydney Grace Cross Mel Thompson, rest in peace. Still such a banger palette. Like, still such an amazing palette, and it's a palette that I will never, ever, ever, ever get rid of in my collection. So keeping. These are my two favorite Odin's Eye palettes. So this one is, I always get the names back to front, Stone and Rock and Jewels and Gem, and I love these. These are my two favorite Odin's Eye palettes. I love the color stories. I love the shadows, like the shadow quality. These are like pat special shades, honestly, in this palette. These are something, they did something with these. They're absolutely gorgeous. So I am absolutely not getting rid of these. This one is from the it's like a collab they did with Fancy Face, Tina Fancy Face, and I kept this at the time, but I think I'm gonna declutter this because I haven't reached for it since, and I have so many other gorgeous palettes. It's just gonna sit in my collection, so it should absolutely go to someone who will love it. These are the two Christmas palettes from Odin's Eye, and I'm not gonna lie, I really love them. I really love them. The Christmas Eve one is my favorite because look at that color story. It's so pretty. I love this shade and this. I love it all. I think they're so pretty. And like this one. And I'm going to keep them for Christmas this year naturally. And then this is the Merry Christmas one. And like, look at this. I love these. They're so pretty. I love them. I did have the snowman one as well. I actually had all four that they sent me, but I did send the other two to my friend Melina. These are the two not Odin's Eye, sorry, Flower Nose palettes. This one, which I love this shade, but look at these. I did a review of this collection. These are Pat Beige special shades. Look at them. No, seriously. They're crazy. They're crazy stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. And this one, I love the color story of this one. Like, look. That is a me color story, is it not? And the formula is just impeccable. So I'm going to keep this one. And look at the packaging. It's so amazing. But I am going to get rid of this one just because I love it for these and this, but not these. And I also have a full Pat McGrath Labs collection, so, and indie eyeshadow collection and all that kind of stuff. So I can move this one along. Just for the sake of, I can only use so many palettes, but this one I'm 100% keeping. Who remembers the Angelica Nyquist Kaleidos collab? she pretty? I loved this. I loved this so much. I still love this. I think this is gorgeous. I love the colors. I think this was like such a unique color story. Like Angie really created such a unique palette with this. But it's time to move it on. I really like it, but I never reach for it and you can't get it anymore. It's time to declutter. And then this is the Escape Pod. And I love these shadows. I think they're so pretty, but this is too colorful for me. I just think this is really pretty, but I never ever reach for it. So I'm actually going to give this to my friend because she has been eyeing this for ages. This is the Adept Cosmetics Minka palette. I'm not even going to swatch this because these are the most intense glitters. I only ever use this on like holiday looks or like party looks because these are intense glitters, but they are gorgeous, like truly gorgeous. So yeah, I'm keeping. And then this, I don't know if you can still get this. I think it's gone. This is the Arrow palette and it is spectacular. The quality of this and these shadows, look at them. Look at them. This one especially is like, oh, you guys, they're something. They are truly something. They're absolutely amazing. I love them. I love them. Okay, this is last year's Charlotte Tilbury Holiday Palette, and I might declutter this because I do like the metallics, but also they're not like the most amazing metallics in the entire world. The mattes were the thing in this palette. The mattes are kind of like that suede high-end matte formula, but I've got all of these shades in actual high-end formulas, and these metallics were just a bit mess. So yeah, I think I'm going to declutter this because I've really never used it since, honestly. I do love the packaging though. Maybe I should just keep it for that. I actually don't know whether I want to keep this or not. I don't even think you can get this anymore actually, can you? Let me have a quick look. Okay, you can still actually get this on the website, so I'm just going to keep it for now. And then these are my Mario palettes. I mean, Etherealized. Has this become permanent? I feel like he brought it back and made it permanent. I mean, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. I like this shade the most. I still stand, oh, actually no. I mean, look, it's a really pretty palette. I like the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude more. This is still very pretty, and Mario should make this permanent if he hasn't, because it is good. And then these are his two like master palettes. This is the Master Metallics, and then this is the Master Mattes, which I really like the Master Mattes. It's a little bit warm tone leaning for me, so it's not something I reach for all the time, but it's when you need it, you need it, so it's a good one to have in the collection. But these suck, actually. I really don't like. They're very dense and thick. And see how they're just not super wowing. So I'm actually going to declutter these. I usually like to keep them just because it's Mario, but I am going to declutter that because what's the point? I never use them. I'm not going to lie, I can't even be bothered making these look aesthetic anymore. So here we are. Let's do this one. This is the Sigma Cool Neutrals. This is my favorite Sigma palette. Look at this shade. Oh, and this one. I love everything about this. The quality of this palette is amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you love cool neutral shadows, this is the palette you need. Oh, it is stunning. And like, look how cool the packaging is. I love it. My Isamaya Industrial One, which you can still get this. And I love it. Look at the color story. Look at the color story. It's so cool. It is so cool. It's one of those grungy color stories that looks really intimidating, but actually on the eyes is super, super wearable. These are such cool formulas too. Like all of them are like really unique type formulas. Like, oh, they're so cool. I need to do some more looks on my members with this actually. And then this is Industrial 2, which you can't get anymore, and I don't know why. It's a stupid decision from the brand because this is amazing. And again, like the formulas, oh, it's a palette of pat special shades, truly. Like, look at them. No, but look at this one. Oh, it's incredible. You unfortunately can't get this anymore. I'm still keeping it. I love this brand. She hasn't released anything in ages. I love the brand, but that palette in particular is something. This is my Byredo, what's it called again? Shoot, Mineralscapes, I think, palette, and I love it. Is that not a me color story? Look. All of the shades are so nice. I love the mattes. This is one of those ones that like, it's a luxury formula like the suede ones, and it has like softer metallics and more intense metallics, and is like, if you're intrigued by this color story but get intimidated by it and want it to be still for the everyday, this palette is the one that you need. I think this is limited edition. I'm not sure if you can still get it around, but if you can, I can't recommend it enough. This is the Glaminatrix Fairy Lights palette, which you can't get anymore. It's last year's release, and it's so cute and pretty and sparkly, and I love it because I love everything Glaminatrix. They're amazing. This is the, what is this called? Cosmic Brushes Muse palette, and it is very pretty. I like the color story, but if I'm honest, it's not a palette I ever reach for. The quality is very lovely, but not enough to really blow me away where I want to keep reaching for it. So I'm actually going to declutter this, which I wasn't expecting to, but as I open this, I'm never really going to reach for it. So yeah, this one can go. This one though, this is the Blend Bunny, all done up. Oh my gosh. Wow. Talk about wow. This formula is insane. The matte formula, buttery, blendable goodness, and then look at these metallics. They're phenomenal. Like, this palette is freaking incredible. Blend Bunny is incredible. I'm actually eyeing off their new palette too. Like, this is, I love everything about this, and this color story is just, oh. So yeah, keeping. This is last year's House Labs holiday palette. I don't think you can get this anymore, and everyone seemed to hate this, and I really liked it because these mattes are like the Tom Ford cream formula mattes, and I mean, the metallics are really, really pretty, but I think people just were expecting these to be like Natasha Denona mattes and stuff, and they're not. They're like a luxury formula matte. They're like a softer formula. So I actually really loved this. Like, look at that color story. I think it's gorgeous. I don't know why people hated on it so much, but I think it was stunning. I just recently did a video reviewing this with in-depth swatches. This is the new Danessa Myricks Freedom palette. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is amazing. And all of these pop out, and like even these pop out. This is just something in a league of its own. It's, check out that like full looks in the review of this. It's so good. This was last year's Urban Decay holiday palette, where it had like all of the moon dust shadows, not all of them, but quite a lot of them in singles in the palette. This one's like Space Cowboy, which is my favorite actually. It's very, very pretty, and I really like this. I like using these as one and dones. So yeah, I'm going to keep this because you can still get these in singles. You can't get this as like a quad anymore, but you can get them in singles. This is the Byredo Remembrance palette, which I don't think you can get anymore either, but again, oh, so good. So good. I like collecting all of these now because they're just phenomenal. And like, I just love how they have more intense ones, and then the mattes is like this perfect matte formula. It's just stunning. I absolutely love my Byredo formula. All right. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Smoky Eyes Are Forever. I've had this for forever. It's time to go. They don't sell it anymore, and I never ever use it. And I've always loved the color story, and I don't know why. It's been a real struggle to let this go because I really like this palette, but I don't use it. It's really, really old. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. And then this is the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette. I like to kind of keep it to have a naked palette, but this isn't my color story. It's too warm toned. The formula is just average compared to other formulas. And it's another one that I'm like, you gotta let it go, sister. You don't need it, okay? You've got too many. Lethal Cosmetics. What is this? I don't know what this palette is actually called. I can't remember, but I really like it. It's really pretty. Look at this shade. Oh my gosh. And like this one and this one, and the mattes are stunning. This is beautiful. I love everything about, look at this. Oh, I love everything about this palette. Keeping. I love all of my Glaminatrix palettes. This is the Nearly Natural, one of my faves, probably my second fave from them. Oh, if you don't know anything about Glaminatrix Cosmetics, run, don't walk, trust me, their shadows are insane. This is Rich Romantic from them, also insane. Like, look, I've hit pan on this one because I love it so much, but like, oh, stop it. And their mattes are so good. Truly, you guys, they're a brand of like run, don't walk. This one is my favorite from them now. This is Barely Basic. Look at it. because look at all the mattes, and then you get these like more intense type metallics, but then you get these like shifty white ones. Look, you need to stop it right now. I have a full review of all of these palettes on my channel. This is a Pat McGrath Labs Mothership, but better. Truly. So good. So I'm keeping all of them. And then this one is the Sugar and Spice Glaminatrix, which I also love because look at these. I didn't love the mattes as much in here, but the metallics are like, oh, like look. They need to stop it right now. They're so good. This is the Denona Myricks Lightwork palette, their previous one. Ugh. Again, it's amazing. This one has more fallout than her newest one. I wish this one didn't have as much fallout, but I love the color story and the finishes and the shifts of this one. I have a heap of looks using this as well. I freaking love this palette, so yeah. Definitely staying. As I say this, I also have these two, but I keep these in a different section because I use these, like these are in my top drawer of my, it's like beside me, because I use them every day pretty much, or at least one form of them. So Groundwork Neutral and Blooming Romance from Denona Myricks. I think I need to get a new one of this. It says the expiry is 12 months. I've had it over 12 months. And it's kind of dried out now. Like these ones are definitely nowhere near as dried out as what this is. So I think this is due for an upgrade. But yeah, I'm going to keep them. But I'll probably just replace this one with a fresh one because like you can see how much I use it, right? They're just such good core stable palettes to have. But these sit in like on my top. Oh, another quad actually that I have in my top desk is my Bobbi Brown Baked Quad, which I don't think you can get anymore. Look how pretty it is. These are legitimate Pat special shades, like they're baked special shades. They're so beautiful. So yeah, I really like that one. I'm not getting rid of that. These are Odin's Eye singles. They sent me all of their singles. They reformulated. Look how pretty they are. Are they gorgeous? I like this one. Look at that. And what else will we swatch? Oh, this one. This one. Seriously, they're amazing. They're actually a really nice quality. I really, really like them. So yeah, we will keep those. And then I've been procrastinating on Huda, Mercury, Retrograde, and Rose Quartz because these have been like buried in the back of my eyeshadow drawer and I forgot that I even really owned them. I do like Rose Quartz, but I think it's had its moment and it's passed. I don't know. I don't always love the Huda formula. So I actually think it's time for my Huda palettes to depart my collection, even though I love that packaging. But yeah, it's time to go. I was actually going to do, like, pull out my entire Natasha Denona collection, but it's going to be too large for the space. And I figured we could just do it by categories of the minis, the middies, and then the bigger ones. So I think I have almost all the minis. There's a couple I don't have, like Mini Star. I'm sure there's a couple now actually because I only ever pick them up really when the color story interests me usually, or it's a little bit different to one of the others, that kind of a thing. Just depends on what tickles my pickle at the time. So this one is the Mini Love, and I got this on like an Uber sale actually, which was cool, and it's actually really pretty. I really like the mini palettes from Natasha Denona. I have one again, oh, I forgot to say as well, by the way, I'm so sorry. It's the next day, so I stopped filming yesterday because that took me hours just to film that part. So this is the next day. And apparently I also can't speak again today. The one request I have for the minis is I'd like these to be able, like I'd like the pans to also come out of these like they do with the midi and the bigger palettes. So these pans, from my knowledge and from my trying, I can't get these pans out. And I would actually like these to come out because to create your own like mini palette with these would be awesome for me. But yeah, this is the Mini Love. And I really like this shade. This palette actually surprised me with how pretty it was. I got this like $10 or something ridiculous on sale. So it's very, very pretty. I think I'm going to do, I was thinking actually yesterday when I was like playing around with all my palettes, I haven't done like a proper eyeshadow series for a while. So I think I might do like Actually, let me know in the comments. Should I do, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 days in a row of like quick little mini palette looks with Natasha Denona, or should I just do one giant video with timestamps where you can just check each palette with a look of each one of the minis? Let me know what you think. And then I'll do it with like the midi and all that kind of stuff. You know how I used to do like 10 days of Pat McGrath labs and stuff like that? I kind of want to do one of them again. So yeah, anyway, I'm not getting rid of any of my Natasha Denona collection, by the way, because I like to collect all of my palettes for Natasha. This one is the mini retro. This like started the love affair from everyone with the whole retro palette, and this is like so pretty, this palette. I really like the color story. It's not my favorite, I'll tell you my favorite when we get to it, but I really like the khaki green and like this like silvery shade. Oh, so pretty. And these are a really, really good quality formula. These are my two little colorful minis, and actually this one is the mini trio chrome, which I do like because the trio chrome bigger palette, which you'll see I have it, has like your yellows, your greens, your purples. So I understand why she made it blue. This one I will say, apart from the metallics in here, oh, like beautiful. Look at this one, right? Even this one, absolutely stunning. The mattes in here though, this one's okay. These two mattes, they're not good. So I will say this is actually the least quality out of all of the minis, in my personal opinion. I think the quality was really kind of let down. And if it wasn't for the fact that I would like to really collect my Natasha Denona palettes, I'd actually give this to my mum. She wouldn't use any shade but this one right here, but this is such a my mum shade, so I would give it to her. But I do really like this one, it's so pretty. But this one I actually don't recommend because the quality isn't as good as the others. This is the mini pastel palette, and I feel like this gets overlooked quite a lot because it has this green that makes it seem a lot more colorful than like what it is. But these three metallic shades right here, I mean, you have the blue, which is a bit colorful, but like these first three, they're so everyday wearable. Like this is amazing on the lids. Like, and these, I don't know, I personally find these to be very wearable colors. And then you've got the pop of blue. And if you didn't want to use the green because you didn't want color for the day, you could just use, you know, your bronzer if you don't have a neutral palette or a neutral palette in your collection. So I actually really like this, and this shadow in particular gets overlooked all the time, and it should. This one is the mini My Dream palette, and she's very cute. Very, very cute. I would say this is more like a mini I Need a Nude, to be fair. That's what it reminds me of more. But this is a really great palette if you just want a very neutral or cool tony color story, and you just want like a really, like if these are your colors and you don't stray outside them, this is really the only palette you would need in your collection if they're like the colors that you stay within. And this is a really, really, really good quality. And you know, I love the My Dream packaging. I love the black splash paints and stuff. It's just, yeah, this is a really, really good palette. This one is actually my favorite out of all of the minis. This is the mini gold, and I love this because I love this and this, but I also really like the khaki green and the like neutral color. Look at it. Oh, look at this. Isn't that amazing? They are so pretty. My friend Brooke here, she's a sub here on YouTube, but like we're now friends in real life. She's an Australian. She actually was the person who convinced me to get this because on the first day we met in person, she was wearing this palette, and I looked at her eyes and I was like, oh my god, what's on your eyes? They look amazing. And she told me it was this, and I literally went home and got it because like, oh, this is my favorite one. So if I had to get rid of all my minis and keep one, this would be the one that I would keep personally. This one is the mini Zendo. Also very, very cute. I don't lean to this one as much. I think it's a little bit pink warm leaning for me, and my preferences just at the moment, but I do like it. I obviously like this one. I think it's very pretty, and I go through my moments where these are really my tones. I don't know, I think this is like such a unique little color story too. Probably not so much now, but definitely when it came out. And again, the quality is amazing. So yeah, love that. And then lastly, we have the mini Starlet palette, which I never planned on picking up because in the promo photos, this was from memory, I think it was like super, super pink. It just did not look impressive in the promo photos. And I find that with most of Natasha Denona's like professional like marketing photos, the palette looks so different in real life. in a good way, like in a better way. It's really odd. So when I actually saw this in real life, I was like, oh wow, this is a color story I actually really like, and it's very pretty. Again, really nice for someone that just wants a small eyeshadow palette that's like perfect for the everyday, but you can also really like glam this up as well. And then you've got this shade as well is beautiful. All of these are great as one and dones. Like even this shade is a nice one and done. Yeah, this is a gorgeous little palette. I pretty much have looks for all of these palettes on my channel, and I have a Natasha Denona playlist on my channel as well. I can't fit all of my midis on one screen. I'm pretty certain I have every single midi palette that she's ever released. I'm pretty certain. If I'm missing one, let me know, but I'm pretty certain I have them all. I actually need to do an updated Natasha Denona like midi palette ranking as well. I actually need to do a lot of updated Natasha Denona content, I feel like. Again, I have looks with every single, actually nearly every single. I don't think I have looks with maybe these two, the Sunrise and the Love. Or at least I definitely haven't got a look with the Sunrise because, spoiler alert, I've only ever really swatched that one. Yeah, I know. But I got this for like $20 on sale. Truly, it was like an excess sale. $20 is too cheap. Maybe like 30 Australian dollars, but still a good sale. Anyway, check out the playlist if you want to see looks and stuff. But I need to do an updated ranking. This is not going to be in order of when these were released, and this is also not going to be in order of my ranking. This is just to show you the collection, and again, I am not decluttering any of these because of the collection, but I will tell you the ones that I would declutter if I didn't want to have all of them in my collection. So let's just start with, actually I was going to start with the bronze palette because it's so shiny on the thing, and let me zoom in a little bit here. Here we go. Okay, so this is the midi bronze palette. I've used this quite a lot on the channel, and I actually really like this. I think the quality of this is very, very pretty, and you know, the metallics are very, very beautiful. I actually ended up picking this up for these three shades right here because they just speak my name. Again, I have like swatches and everything of this on the channel. Very pretty, beautiful quality. Even I've had these for years now, and even after all that time, still such an amazing quality. You'll notice all of these palettes are really messy and dirty. I'm sorry. I do really use all of my palettes, and that's why they just stay messy, and I've got too many to just wipe down. I'm gonna be honest, I'm lazy and time poor. Yeah, I really, really like this one. I think if this is your tones, like if you're a bronze makeup wearer and you're a really warm eyeshadow leaning makeup wearer, this is the palette for you. It doesn't get better than this. Like an orangey, bronzy, very, very warm tone mini palette. This is for you. I actually really like this one. It's not one I go to all the time just because it's not super duper my tones, but when I want these tones, it's absolutely stunning. Let's do the Sunrise palette next. So I've swatched this a heap and stuff like that, and kind of played around with it in like swatches, but I've never actually used it. I picked this up because it was on such a massive sale. I think I got it from like Beautylish on a Black Friday sale once, or like a Sephora Boxing Day sale where they just dropped it so low. The quality of this one isn't as good as the others. This is one of her first like mini palettes she ever brought out, so that doesn't surprise me. The formula definitely keeps evolving along each palette, but it's not bad quality at all. The reason why I haven't used it is, apart from like these kind of, or especially these three and the yellow, no other color really speaks to me in this palette. It's a bit too warm, and I don't know, it's just not a color story that super speaks to me, and that's why I've kind of never reached for it. I guess if this is a color story that's like uber duper something that you're just like, oh my gosh, that speaks to me and is exactly what I'm looking for, and the quality is really lovely, like go ahead and grab it. I think you'll enjoy it. But for me, it's just not a color story I'm super gravitated towards, and I picked it up because I wanted, like I said, it was so like on sale for so cheap, and I wanted to have it in my collection. This one is the Love palette. I got it at the same time. I'm pretty sure it was like, again, like a ridiculous sale, and this one's actually really cute and pretty. I actually quite like this one. Same quality as like the Sunrise palette. I have used this one a couple of times. I think it's cute. Not something that I reach for a whole lot because it's a bit pink and purple leaning, but it is pretty. Again, if it's a color story that you're like, that just speaks to me, then go for it. You can probably get this on a discount. Keep an eye out, like Black Friday and stuff especially. You'll probably get this on like a super discount. But this is one, I should say, the Sunrise and this one, I would declutter if I didn't want them to have the full Natasha Denona collection, just because they're not color stories I reach for. This is the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. So many people got so disappointed with this when it got released because it wasn't very similar, or really like people couldn't see the vibes from this to the mini Zendo palette. I actually really like this palette. Again, this is one I got on a super discount, but I really like it because it has so many of her cream to powder formula in here, which you either love or hate the cream to powder formula. I love it. I think it's like one of the luxury, she was kind of like the first person to do this luxury like cream to powder type formula in her palettes. And I really like the metallics and stuff in here as well. They're really shifty and pretty, and I like the kind of cool tony you know, khaki, bluey, grungy colors with the more warm tone, like feminine colors. So yeah, I really like this one. This one is her mini retro palette, which this, I can't remember if it like upset people. I think a lot of people liked this color story, but were like, this doesn't even come close to what we would imagine for the mini retro palette, because that had like greens and stuff in it. I agreed with that sentiment, but I also love this color story. This palette, I wasn't going to pick this up because I was like, oh, I don't know if that's a palette I'm going to really like. And I ate my words. It's one, again, got heaps of these beautiful cream to powders that are my favorite formula from her in regards to mattes. But then even the metallics in here, they're so beautiful. They're beautiful on the lids. They make absolutely stunning looks. Oh, like even as I'm swatching this, I'm like, I need to pull this palette out and play with it again, because it creates some spectacular, stunning looks. I really, really like this, and the quality is so high. Now this one, this is actually, so long story short, well, this is the Glam Mini palette. Let me open it up. Oh, is that not a me color story? It is a me color story. I absolutely love this palette. Fun fact, I tried Natasha Denona years ago when she brought out the Lila palette, the big Lila palette. And it was like, back then, you know, that was one of the most expensive eyeshadow palettes. It was like unheard of kind of thing. I think this was in like 2016, 2017, something like that. And I think it was probably my skill level at the time, if I'm honest. I think it was my skill level. I really didn't like the Lila palette in terms of formula. I was very new. Like, obviously the more you use makeup, the more you, and practice, the better you get at it. And I just don't think, I don't know what it was, but I didn't vibe with the Lila palette at all. I couldn't work with it. And so I stayed away from Natasha Denona for years until I bit the bullet and got the Glam palette. And I think I got this at the end of 2020, I want to say. Maybe early 2021. Oh my gosh, this started a love affair again for me just started a love affair with Natasha Denona for me, because this palette, like the colors in here, the formula, I'm a cool tone eyeshadow gal. I love it, like a neutral cool tone eyeshadow gal, and this just screamed my name. And then when I played with this and the quality of it, I was like, this is phenomenal. Like, it's not my favorite midi palette anymore. I'll tell you which one is, but it certainly used to be for a very, very long time, and it's still very, very much high up in the ranking for me, and it's something that I will not declutter until it's like so expired. But it's still good to use. It's still like a perfect formula. So until that formula gives out on me, I am keeping this. And I don't know if I'll repurchase it. We'll see what it's like at the time. We'll see how long I can keep this for, but so good. This one is the mini golden palette. It's not her most recent, but the one before that, and it's like, I guess, well, there's the big version of the gold palette, and this is the midi version of it, and there's a lot of repeat. I think there's 8 off the top of my head, 8 repeat shades in this midi palette to the larger golden palette. I have like a full review with in-depth swatches, and like, I can't remember if I did multiple looks with this one or not, but yeah, that's all on the channel. And I guess the large golden palette, or the large gold palette, sorry, you can't get anymore. And so this was to replace it. And I'll be honest, this is one I would declutter for a couple of reasons. One, I don't know. This one is kind of like the bronze, where there's just no real nuance to it. I do appreciate that she hasn't gone full orange warm tone with this. Like, there is some neutrals in here, so it's not as one-dimensional as, say, like it could be, but you will get quite a lot of similar looks with this regardless of what shadows you kind of use. So the thing that I loved about the big gold palette, which I'll show you guys after these ones, I liked that it had these beautiful golds in it and bronzes in it, but also it had the kind of teals and the blues, and and like some really shifty sparkly green shades, and it really created something unique and stunning. So I miss that kind of just a little bit of diversity in this palette with this one. The other thing with this one I found is the quality is good, not great. And what I mean by that is like from, well, even compared to, sorry, the large gold palette, the quality of these mattes in particular and stuff, they're not as impressive. I don't know if this is a different formula, I'm not quite sure, but they just are a bit drier. They don't feel as impressive as like the big gold palette, or even her other palettes like the I Need a Warm, the I Need a Nude, the Yucca, that kind of a thing. Like even her other ones, like the formula on this one for me was a little bit lacking. Now that could very much just be a me thing and my preference and all that kind of thing. I'm not sure if others feel that way, but that's just how I feel. So yeah, this is actually one that I would declutter from combination of like the color story is nothing innovative to me, and then also the formula was a bit meh for me. This is the mini pastel palette, and it's kind of the one of, well, it's definitely the most colourful midi palettes. She's got a couple of other colourful bigger palettes, and obviously you've seen the colourful mini ones, but this is the most colourful midi one, and I was so excited to get this because it has a heap of cream to powders in here in colors that I really like. Like if I'm going to wear color like this acid green, oh, this blue, the mint, even this one, I was really excited to pick this one up and use like these mattes as one and dones and that. But for me, this palette in terms of quality really lacked it. Definitely I think the worst quality in my personal opinion, just my opinion, keep that in mind, out of all of the midi palettes. And pastels are very hard to formulate, so I do understand that, but I think if you're going to come out with a whole palette of pastels, they need to be like top notch. And I thought the cream to powder formula would make them perfect, to be honest. I thought that was a really good combination, but it didn't. They were just really lackluster and patchy and hard to build up, and they faded away to nothing. So the metallics are really lovely. But yeah, overall, this is a palette, like this one I would declutter as well, for sure. This one is the Natasha Denona My Dream palette, and one, I love the packaging. I love the pink with the black and the like paint splashes. I absolutely love this. And then inside this is essentially Natasha Denona created her own dream eyeshadow palette. And a couple of these shadows in here are not the same, so they're not repeat shades, but they're modeled off, actually I think Nurture might be a shade from the Lila Big palette, but they're kind of modeled or tweaked off multiple shades across her mini palettes that are like her favorite ones, and then she's just created this like dream palette for herself, which if you have your own makeup brand, why would you not create your own dream eyeshadow palette? This is beautiful, and I think like if you kind of want a combination of all of Natasha's, or like a lot of Natasha's kind of midi palettes, and you want them all combined into the one, this is the one you want to get, because it really is a really nice combination of the retro palette, the bronze palette, and the glam palette. I find even a little bit of like, oh no, I would say retro, glam, and bronze kind of mixed together, although this is kind of the most bronze shade that you get in it, but you get my vibe anyway. Beautiful quality, like really lovely quality. I think it only has the one cream to powder matte, or two, no, that's a cream to powder as well, so two cream to powder mattes, which these shades are really nice as a cream to powder matte. And then you've got like, I love this Nurture shade. This palette is really gorgeous, and again, if you want like those kind of three palettes combined into one, this is a great option to start with, especially if this is like your color story. This is kind of all you would need, right? So yeah, and the packaging is just stunning. This one is the Midi Retro Glam, and it has been transitioned to that like slightly plastic packaging, and I guess this was her response to everyone being upset that they didn't get like the retro color story that they wanted. I think it's awesome that we got the original retro mini palette plus this one, I think it's great because now we've got like two awesome palettes in my personal opinion. This one, if you have deeper skin tones, is really not going to be that suited to you. If you only want to stick to the one palette, you do have these like darker metallics, but you don't really have any depth in the mattes really in this one. This is a good companion palette. In fact, regardless of your skin tone, I do feel like this is a good companion palette. You can obviously use this on its own though. In fact, my most recent members video, I did a look with this palette. I really like this. Is it my favorite out of the collection? No, but it's quite high up there. I really like it. This Evergreen Cream to Powder Matte is my favorite one. I like using this even just as a one and done. I think it's so unique and special. But I also just like popping this one all over the lid with just a little bit of like this shade. And it just creates very soft, pretty looks. And then I like how the greens in here are not like this straight in your face, like vibrant green. They're more of like a muted type green, like a mossy green. I really, really like it. So I know a lot of people kind of had mixed feelings about this one. I personally enjoy it quite a lot. There's some shades I'd personally take out, like the red and the pinks, just because I'm not going to personally use them. Even these two darker ones, I would probably take all of them out and like add some deeper, just neutral browns. But I can see the color story, it makes the palette pop a bit. But overall, I really do like this. And I really like the quality of it. This one is her latest one, the I Need a Nude, and it's again that plastic kind of midi packaging that she's transitioned to. I said I Need a Nude, sorry, this is I Need a Warm. And I like this so much more than I thought I was going to. And I really appreciate that because this is a warm palette. She hasn't leaned straight like orange. See how she's kind of got these more, they're warm tone mattes, but they're not these orange kind of warm tone mattes, which a lot of warm tone leaning palettes will pop in their palettes, and that just makes it too much for me. So this is more of like I don't know, this is more my kind of a warm palette, if you will. And there's a couple of new formulas, like these three are new formulas in here. That's something that I love about Natasha Denona, especially with her most recent midi palettes that she's bringing out. She keeps bringing out new eyeshadow formulas in them, which is what I love. I love trying, you know, by this point in my collection, I really have most color stories or colors. Obviously each color has a slight nuance to it, is slightly different, but there's not many colors in my collection that I don't have anymore. So I personally like to collect all of these things or pick all of these, like any kind of makeup product up, right, to test new formulas and see what new innovations the brand is coming out with. And that's what I love about Natasha Denona, is that she continuously is like tweaking her formula and bringing out new formulas. So yeah, if you are looking for like a everyday warm palette, this is great. Like this is a great everyday palette. The quality is exceptional and I liked it so much more than I thought I was going to. And then spoiler alert for my ranking, these are my top two favorite Natasha Denona palettes, like absolute favorites. This is the Yucca palette. I think this one, I love this packaging, absolutely love it. And this was where she introduced is it the sparkling foiled formula or the sparkling wet? I think it was the sparkling foiled in like these ones. Oh my goodness. And like this color story is a me color story, okay? I love these like khaki greens and these like cool tony greens. I just love every single thing about this palette. This palette, you know, the thing that I say about Natasha is she proves that you can bring out unique color stories and they be an absolute hit and like an everyday kind of color story in a way that like someone that doesn't wear color or greens or anything could still look at this and think, actually, I could work this in really easily into my everyday looks. This palette is, like if I lost it right now, I would hands down run out and repurchase it. Like I would go straight away and repurchase this palette. I always, at the moment, want to have it in my collection. I say always, but you know, things change over the years. But, I just love it. And like this cream to powder matte, every single thing about this palette I absolutely love and adore. I think it is exceptional. And lastly, we have the I Need a Nude, which, my dream everyday palette, truly. Absolutely perfection. Again, if you have more like probably even medium deep. Like this isn't a very versatile palette for skin tones unless you use it as like a companion palette. For me selfishly and my skin tone, this is pure perfection. It has every kind of shade I could need in it, and it's like that neutral undertone. I love every single thing about it. I think if I had to like get rid of my entire collection and have one like eyeshadow palette, it would probably be this one, just because I have everything I could possibly want and need in this palette. In terms of, yeah, I would miss like having other palettes like for colors and stuff, but like in reality, these are the shades that I'm going to kind of wear every day. Now, I'm not going to do that because I love having multiple palettes in my collection, clearly, but I do really think that this is, I just love this. And it has, I think it was this one that introduced the sparkling wet formula as well as the foiled, and it's just perfection in every way. I absolutely love this. Like, love, 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 love. And now we just have my big Natasha Denona palettes. So these are the last 5 in my Natasha Denona collection. Let's start with Trio Chrome. So this one is the Trio Chrome palette. She hasn't released a large palette like this in ages. I have a feeling she's probably discontinued this style, which I agree with. I think the midi palettes are the way to go for her, the midi and the mini, just because the price point, it's about 69 USD and 115 USD, whereas these ones are about 220 Australian and I think like 120 USD. So I think the price point for the midi is the way to go. It's just a little bit better for the consumer, as well as these kind of have, so this is the Trio Chrome, it's like the same amount of shadows, but they're just bigger pans, which we don't need pans that are so big, because going through eyeshadow is like really, really hard for most people, you know what I mean? So I do understand why she's phased these ones out. This one is the Trio Chrome palette. So I believe these are just duochromes, I'm pretty sure. And it's the trio, it's called Trio Chrome because these are the trio of the chromes, if you will. Very pretty. I really like the green. I would have liked a little bit more of a difference between, I guess, these two, because they're both kind of purple, but for the sake of the color story, I think it all works really well. I actually picked this palette up more for the mattes, and I got this on a discount for like, I think I picked this up, instead of it being 220 Australian, it was like 90 Australian or something. And actually, in saying that as well, I think my husband got me this for Christmas. I picked this up because I really like all of the matte colors, and these are not creamed powder mattes, they're more like a suede matte. They're very, very pretty. A lot of them make really nice one and dones. Yeah, like look at this one especially, and like these two. Oh yeah, the mattes in here are where it's at for me personally. I mean, these are nice, but it's the mattes that really stood out to me for this one, and I would never have picked this up if it wasn't for it being on such a discount, just because it's not mattes and stuff that I would use every day, but because it was such a discount, I was like, okay, I'm gonna add it to the collection. Then we have the very colorful Circo Loco palette. I actually paid full price for this. I didn't get this on, oh, maybe I got it on a discount actually on Cult Beauty. I think I'm lying, but only with like, not only, but with like a 20%, maybe not like half price like the others. I don't know what it is. I've just wanted this from the get-go. If you look at this palette as a whole and think of it as a palette on its own, this would be very intimidating unless you love color. But for me, I break these down mentally in my mind, like into individual shadows, and use this as like a companion palette, and oh, it's gorgeous. Like the shades in here are opaque and intense, and the formula is incredible, and the looks that you can create if you use like if you don't want to do full color and you want to use this as like in conjunction with more like say neutral colors, oh my lord, like this one as well, this pink is so beautiful. This, oh, I actually love the Circo Loco palette. Again, if you're just looking at it like as a palette individually on its own and you don't wear color, you'd be like, oh no, instantly dismissed. But like I said, and because you can pop like the shadows out, I like to pop these out quite often and create like individual little palettes for myself with them, and oh, I just love them. I love them, and the quality of it is absolutely impeccable. And then these three last bigger ones are just absolutely incredible and should never be discontinued ever. I believe this one is either it's sold out. I presume it's discontinued, but hopefully she brings it back truly, because it's well worth the money and the bring back. This is the Metropolis palette, and these are the midi pan sizes. So this is like a giant palette of midi pans. So it's, I just love this. I love everything about this. The metallics are out of this world, gorgeous. And then you've got like these amazing like cream to powder mattes in here. And then also like the matte formula in here is amazing, as well as the color story. You can just create so many different types of looks with this palette. Again, another palette that you could pretty much just have this in your collection and that's it. I love every single thing about this. I doubt it's coming back. It's been a really long time since this has been back on her website, but it's one that I think if she can still formulate, I highly recommend. I think this is a palette that will continuously sell, just continuously sell and continuously be popular because it is so good. And I just think the color story is something that people can really gravitate towards. It could be intimidating to look at as a whole, but again, if you break them down, so good. So good. This is the big gold palette, and I think this is discontinued. It comes back sporadically because it's in such popular demand. This is what I'm talking about, like these shades in particular, like this one and this one. I think she really did herself a disservice by not, at least, like if this is absolutely not coming back, by not putting them in the midi golden palette, like, because she's already got 8 repeat shades in there, because these are, like, look at them. Amazing. They're amazing. And I love this like mustard. Oh, and even this one. Stunning. This palette and the quality, again, I've had this for like, I had this for 1 or 2 years. I think I've had this for 2 years, and the quality is still absolutely exceptional. Like, it's brand new. The color story is phenomenal. Everything about this palette is phenomenal. And again, if she can formulate this still to create this, because I know a lot of the time things get discontinued just because they can't do the formulas anymore. But if they can, even if she has to change the packaging or whatever, she should, because this is one of those palettes that would just continuously sell and sell and sell over time, because even an everyday makeup consumer that doesn't know YouTube makeup exists, that kind of a thing, would look at this and go, that's stunning, I want to buy it, you know? So this is definitely one of those palettes that can stand the test of time, and it's such a good quality, and I really think she should bring that back. Clearly, I'm very passionate about it. And then lastly, I'm pretty sure you can still get this one though. This is the Bieber palette. And again, it's such a good core staple palette. This is one of those ones to just own. It is slightly warm leaning, or more, I guess more neutral leaning, but again, the mattes in here, you get this cream to powder. I love that you've got like the grays and stuff down the bottom. It's so good, you guys. One of those ones as well, like if these are your colors, you could just own this and nothing else. Like, you don't need anything else. Really good for every day. You can build it up, glam it up. You can, you know, weddings, all that kind of a thing. Just one of those palettes that kind of like, if the color story speaks to you, it's like everyone should own because the quality is so good. Thankfully, I'm pretty certain you can still get this. It'll be on the screen if you can't. Again, not one that she should ever discontinue. Like this one, the gold palette and the Metropolis palette are palettes that she should keep, because they will just sell and sell and sell to like general public that doesn't really care about makeup but just wants to have makeup in their collection, to absolute makeup fanatics, like, you know, even like say your younger kids now that are coming through and getting into makeup, or like new people that are discovering makeup even later in life. It's one of these palettes are like those ones that you look at and you're like, I want them. Like, I want them and I want them in my collection. So clearly I feel very passionately about that. But yeah, that's my Natasha Denona collection. This is my entire Mothership collection. I have all 12, I think, or is there 11? 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. I have all 11 Motherships. I don't know why I thought there was 12. Let's go through. I think I have these in order. Let me just get. So let's start with 1 and work our way up, shall we? So this one is Subliminal, and I love it. Clearly I love this shade. Still my favorite transition shade, actually. And as I'm swatching this, I've got to be honest, I haven't played with my Motherships in a hot minute. That shade is still feeling so beautiful, and this one, I love that shadow. These are my 2 favorite in this palette. Subliminal is one of my top favorites. It's probably like number 2 or 1. I love it because even these metallics, everything about Subliminal is like, that's This is, oh. And I'm going to try not to go on too much of a pat rant while we do this, but you know how I feel. If you know, you know. Sublime, again, this green. Still the best green I own in my collection in terms of like these jewel colors, like, oh. And this pink. These baked special shades, Pat, please, please bring them back. Please give them to us again, because there's nothing like them. To be fair, as I say that, there is. Like, indie shadows are just as good, maybe even slightly better nowadays, but there's still something about these. They're just so magical. Truly, this old school Pat formula, I just wish you'd bring them back. This one is Subversive. Gigabyte is really nice. I really like these four. Ugh. Again, look at Gigabyte. Oh my goodness. They're incredible. I want this Pat back. That's what I want. I said I wasn't gonna go on a rant about Pat, so we won't. This one is Decadence, which is actually discontinued, I believe. It has no like special shades in it, but when I tell you the quality of each of these metallics is really something gorgeous. It really is true. This is actually still an amazing mothership palette all in its own right. And I like this so much more than I ever thought I was going to. A lot of people's favorite, Bronze Seduction, which Bronze Seduction is not my favorite as a whole, but it does have my favorite mothership, like special shade, VR Fire Opal. I never ever get sick of VR Fire Opal. It is my all-time favorite. I absolutely love it. For me, these six, the quality sucks, which is a shame. Like, and I know a few of you have found the same with your six. Like, these are no good, but honestly, I'm okay because I get VR Fire Opal. It's so amazing. Then we have my first ever mothership palette that I got. Midnight Sun, still one of my faves. These are incredible quality. I love this matte. I love the special shades. I mean, you've got Astral Solstice in this one. Astral Solstice is something special. Look at it. Stop it. So gorgeous. Again, still perfection. Then we have Divine Rose 1. Also spectacular. This is Astral Solstice. Again, it was a repeat shade, but you get these ones right here. And this like eggplant purple. Whoa. These two are so amazing though. Absolutely gorgeous. These two are quite similar to the Bobbi Brown like baked shades. So if you didn't want to pick up a whole mothership but you wanted a similar vibe, I'd have a look at the Bobbi Brown baked shades. You can get them in singles as well. If you like the cool tone purples, oh yeah, perfection. Then we have Divine Rose 2. Very pretty, especially if you're into warm tone pinks, peaches. This is kind of where the brand started to turn a little bit in terms of, this is the last true, like, I say true, but the last like baked special shade formulas that we get from here. They do change. So these are like those real traditional baked formulas. So yeah, the last palette for these, they're very, it's still sad to see them go. I don't love this 6 so much. In fact, I don't love Divine Rose 2 as a whole as much, but that's because it's quite warm toned. So really it just comes down to that for me. So if you're a warm tone lover, this might be exactly for you. Then we have Utopian Dream. And this is the first time we started to see this like baked, real chunky special formula here. Quality's still really pretty. Like, look at that though. Like, these are still stunning. Really pretty. The quality is still really high. The quality of these 6 is really high. In fact, the quality of these 6 is much better than all of her other motherships, in my opinion. And like this pink, for example, really special all in its own right. This one, again, I don't lean towards this one as much just because I don't wear purples a whole lot and it's very warm toned, but I do think this is a really nice palette and I think the quality is there, especially if it's your color story. This one is my favorite mothership because look at the color story. Oh my gosh. This one in Subliminal, oof, I love, love, love. Again, it has the same kind of baked special shades as what Utopian Dream has. Look at this one. This one is my favorite. Oh, makes me so angry how beautiful it is. But also this metallic, look, Again, makes me so angry how good they are. And like this laid down with this laid over the top, perfection. And then you even have this like beautiful kind of purpley, speckly color. Oh, it is absolutely gorgeous. The mattes in here are gorgeous. Every single thing about Moonlit Seduction is pure perfection to me. Number one palette out of the motherships for me. I absolutely love, love, love this. And I do wish, to be honest with you, I wish the mothership pans came out easily. Were magnetic, sorry, so that one, I could create my perfect mothership, but also just so I could like pull out each of the shades that I like and just have them in one giant palette, just selfishly. And then we have this one, which is my absolute least favorite. This is Sunlit Seduction. I do not like this palette. In fact, I would declutter this. These are not special shades. I know she says they are, but they're not. Like this purple one is just a metallic. Like look, there's nothing special about that. This one and this one, okay, maybe. This one right here is like a patchy, flaky mess. I also don't like the color story of this. I don't like this palette, okay? I tried really, really hard. This one was quite controversial. And got a lot of people upset. You're either like me where you're just like, okay, Pat, like enough with the pinks and the purples and like the repetitive color stories, enough. Or you were like, oh my God, this color story is exactly what I was looking for, which is, you know, everyone's preference on that is completely fine. But for me, what annoyed me the most, I can get past the color story, but the quality of this just was not there, to the point where I haven't used this after like my reviews of this, and I don't want to. Like, I would absolutely declutter this if I didn't already own it, and just, I may as well have the full collection, you know what I mean? And this palette is the palette that turned me. It was like my turning point for Pat, where, because I used to just buy every single release she came out with because I absolutely loved her brand, I loved her quality. This one was the one that I was like, all right, I'm taking a step back and only picking up one releases that are genuinely something I really want, or like are innovative in terms of color story, because all her color stories have just gotten so repetitive. And this was also the one that was like, I'm actually not even going to pick up the next mothership if the color story isn't interesting to me. And then lo and behold, this year she hasn't even released a mothership yet. Usually she does in July, and she hasn't released it. And even her holiday palette this year that she's just released, normally they're called Mothership Mega, and she hasn't even called it Mothership as well. So I don't know if the motherships are done and dusted, or if she's rejigging it because people got so upset about this one. I don't know. But well, you know, I guess the direction of the brand is remain to be seen. And then this is the rest of my Pat McGrath Labs collection. So I have all of the first 3 years of the Mothership Megas, the 2 Bridgerton collections, the Love collection, these quads, and then these quints. So let's start with the quads, shall we? As you can probably guess, I am not decluttering any of my Pat collection, because again, it's one that I'm still holding out hope the brand's going to turn around, and it's one that I like to collect. So this one, I mean, I love the pink packaging of this one. It's so cute. This one is Forbidden Fleur, I think. No, Passion Fleur quad. And I actually really like this. I could do without this matte. I would have actually liked this just to be another metallic. But I like the quality. These are just metallics, but I like the shades. They're very pretty, especially this one. But they create really pretty eye looks. So I actually really liked this one. I know a lot of people were disappointed that it was pink again, which so was I, but I did like the quality. This one is Ritualistic Rose, which is one of the OG quads she brought out with like 4 baked special shades, which why can't we have these again? And again, very pretty. If you have Divine Rose 1, Divine Rose 2, that kind of a thing, you definitely don't need this, but it was one that I wanted to pick up while she was still doing the kind of baked quads before she got rid of them. I don't know if these are still up for sale. I haven't been on her website in ages, to be honest, but yeah, I like having that in the collection. This one is Venetian Sunrise, which is very pretty. I like the mattes in here, and this shade's kind of like the new special shade formula, and it's very pretty. Not a lot of nuance to it. I actually got this on an Uber sale with the bronzer and the bronzer brush. So I got this, the bronzer brush, which I love, and the bronzer for like 60 Australian dollars. So that's why I picked this up. And I like having it in the collection. It's cute, it's pretty. And if I ever decide to declutter from my pat collection, I will declutter this just because I kind of have these shades throughout the collection, but I do still like having it, and the quality of this one's really nice, and the quality of the mattes is really nice. This one is Nocturnal Nirvana, which, oh, this shade and this shade are where it's at. Again, this is one of the original, like, baked quads. Look at these two, especially. Absolutely amazing. It should be noted, like, a lot of my quad, like this one and Ritualistic Rose and that I picked up when, like, Pat quite often, I don't know if she's still doing them because, like I said, I haven't been on her website in ages, but Pat quite often was having like 30 to 35% off sales on her website. So that's when I would like go on and grab like the older releases. So very rarely did I pay full price for Pat palettes until I caught up with all of the new releases, I guess. And then I started doing it for my channel. But yeah, a lot of these I got with like 30% off. Not that it matters, I guess. I got them regardless. This one is Voyeuristic Vixen, which I know people love this. This is like one of the Utopian kind of special shades. It's okay. It's very flaky. It's not super duper my vibe. I quite like the bronze. But yeah, this would be one I would declutter as well. It's just not something that I kind of reach for a lot, especially because I really don't love this. I don't love that Pat always does these like reddy warm browns. But it's a pretty color story, and it's definitely a really good quality. Like, it is a good quality. It's just not my favorite formula. And then this one is Bronze Borealis, which I will... Actually, I might even declutter this one now because I got this for free with an order once. I can't remember what order, but yeah, I didn't actually pay for this one. And I have all of these shades, and it's nothing that exciting to me. And I don't even know if, aside from swatching this, if I've used it. So let's declutter that because I don't need it. And it's not one that like sparks, like it's not a popular one in the collection. I can easily get rid of that. Yeah, let's do Quince. So I can't remember. I think this was not last year, the year before, and then I think this was last year, Quince, I think. These are the original ones, and the original Quince are like, wow. Wow. So let's start with this one. This one is Nude Allure, and very cute and pretty, very standard Pat formula, but it's this middle shade. These shades, and like this matte is high quality, like one of the best matte formulas she's done. These are like a real creamy, beautiful formula. I don't like the color story as much of this one. If it wasn't for the formula of this, I would actually probably declutter it, but the formula is, oof. But that's just a personal preference over the color story. This one though, this one is Bronze Bliss, and this is my favorite, like, out of all of my extra little palettes because of this shade. The formula of this is this like cream. Look at it. You need to stop it right now. One of the best formulas. She needs to include this formula in a lot more palettes. But again, the quality of this entire palette, even this like black, it's amazing. It is amazing. I have quite a few looks using this on my channel as well if you're interested. But I have a whole Pat McGrath Labs playlist if you're new here. Oh my lord, the quality of this is so good. Then I think these were last year's. Either last year or the year before. I can't even remember now. This one is Bronze Ecstasy, and this one's gorgeous as well. Kind of same, but slightly different. The metallic formulas to the year before the metallic formulas were more luxury, but these are like suede luxury mattes, and these mattes are impeccable. So I actually really love Bronze Ecstasy as a whole. Like, I wish I could combine like Bronze Ecstasy and Bronze Bliss together because the quality and the color story and everything is just, oh, out of this world. And then this one is Bordeaux Bliss, which is just a nice like kind of purpley color story. Same formula as Bronze Ecstasy. So if you like the formula of that one and this color story is intriguing to you, go for it. But this color story, this is another one I could probably declutter. I'll keep it around for a little bit longer, but yeah, I just don't super love the like red. I like this color though, and the formula of that is impeccable. But yeah, I have full swatches and everything of these on my channel. These are the Bridgerton little 6 pans, which I know a lot of people really didn't like, but I really liked them. So this is the first one, Diamond of the First Water. And this is like a special shade right here. And this one's like a beautiful, like those are just gorgeous and like layered over the top of each other. These two right here, the formula of these, I still to this day want an entire palette of browns and neutrals and stuff in this formula, because these are like these satin mattes that she came out with that are incredible. The thing about this one that I don't like is just that these are pinks, because I don't want to wear these on the everyday. Do you know what I mean? So I'd really like these to be in more everyday brown colors. This mattes, I personally found the formula of this palette like absolutely gorgeous, and I really like it. I just wish these weren't pink. And then this one is Bridgerton 2, which again, it has that beautiful satin formula, but she's done it like the same color. It's like a pink again. Why not give us something new? We've got two pinks in this formula, you know, in the previous one. This one is just Gigabyte. She calls it a different shade name. I've done the swatch comparison personally. Allegedly, I think they're the same shade. But I do really like these. Look at them. They're really pretty. And again, I really like this palette. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I really like the quality of it. I know a lot of people, again, probably didn't super like this one. I think the quality's great, and I love these. You know, you always get your champagne shade and some form of a red brown in Pat's palettes. I just wish, I mean, look, I'd love all three of these to be changed, to be honest. I don't need a champagne. I've got a million of them from Pat, but I get it if you're just picking up this palette, fine. But I would love this to be more of a brown, like a neutral brown, and I'd love this to be more of a different type of brown rather than like the plums that she always gives us. But I do like the quality of this one. This one is the Love Collection, which I really liked, particularly this one, which is Velvet Liaison, because it's a palette full of mattes finally. You know, a more neutral, you got your pinky and purple, more orangey brown. The nude one, the matte formula in this palette is really, really good. I really like it. I think this is an awesome palette. I don't think you can get this collection anymore. I think it was limited edition, but I really, really like the quality of this one and the color story. This one is Sublime Seduction, which, to be fair, I could declutter just because it's such a boring color story to me. It's kind of like it's like Celestial Odyssey quad, the Bronze Borealis quad, and all that kind of stuff, like all piled in here. Formula's great, don't get me wrong. So this is a color story you love. Like, you will like this because the formula is awesome. It's just very boring to me. And then this one is Iconic Infatuation. This one was my second favorite just because I love these like smoky purple tones and like this more like mauvey brown. But again, I have, again, quality, A+. Like, the quality of these was really, really good in my opinion, but she just has multiples of these types of tones within her collection already, so we didn't need this color story. But I will say this is exactly the color story you're looking for, and you can still get your hands on this, which I don't think you can. It is really good, like really good. And then lastly, we have the Mothership Megas, which this was like the first 3 years she did a holiday collection. This, from my knowledge, these were the first 3 palettes she did. Like, these are the original Mothership Megas, and these are all pretty awesome. This one is Celestial Divinity, and it's really good. I didn't pick this up originally, and in fact I think it's these 2 out of 6 quadrants right here were in the Star Wars 6 pans that she did, and she re-released them in this one. Originally I didn't pick this up because the purples, I don't love a purple, and there's just so many purples in here. I like this tone of a purple, but not like this tone, for example. And so I was like, no, I don't really think I need this. And then my beautiful friend Melina, again, she had 2 of these in her collection, so she sent it to me because she's like, I really just think you need to try it. And she's not wrong, because it's really nice. Especially this one is my favorite shade. Look at it. Oh, I love it. But all of these are beautiful shades. They really are. Like, there's some really shifty, like, kind of special type shades in here. They're absolutely beautiful. The quality of this is really, really good. The matte quality of this is really good. Again, it's kind of like one of those palettes. I understand it was for a holiday collection, so you can't, you know, they're not permanent collection pieces. But I feel like if she kept this as a permanent piece, it would stand the test of time just because of the quality of it is really good, and the color story is actually quite appealing to a lot of people. This one was her second one, Celestial Odyssey, and this one is my favorite. I love this one. The quality and the color story. The mattes are fine. Like, the mattes are really good quality. I don't super love, like, why do we need more pink mattes? I get it, you know, whatever. But I love this shade. I love the metallics in here. That's where it's at for me. Like, they're so pretty and unique. And, like, this green especially, but, oh, I've created so many gorgeous looks using this palette. This was actually, I think, my favorite palette from this year. Like, out of every palette I tried, I think. You can go back and see that ranking for that year on my channel, where I like rank all the palettes that I tried for the year. I think there was even times where before, because I'm pretty sure this came out before Moonlit Seduction, so I think this like even ranked as like my favorite pat palette, even over like a Mothership. I just really like this. I really like the quality, and I really like all the metallics in here. And then this one is Celestial Nirvana, which is my least favorite, because I guess this was Pat's answer maybe to people being like, can you give us color? It just didn't feel like thought out color. Listen, I say that as someone who is obviously not in the boardroom creating these products with Pat, is a makeup lover, and has absolutely no idea how this world works. So it's just very much my own opinion, take it with a grain of salt. But it just felt like, all right, they want color here, throw them in. And it's just these kind of like, I mean, the matte formula is not bad. It's just, it's not great either. It just doesn't feel like Pat. This palette doesn't feel like Pat in a lot of ways in terms of the color story for me. However, I will say this one, this one, this one, and like this one, like the metallics in here, they're really pretty. Look at these two. They are really pretty. And if you break it down a little bit, like this quadrant right here and like these two browns, they're great. So if you wanted to keep it kind of like neutral or brownish, you know, you've got these two and you can mix and match them and then do these pops of color. So, you know, maybe that is a preference for you. It just, I guess if I was thinking about how Pat would do color, that wouldn't have been kind of how I would have envisioned it personally. But, you know, so this one's my least favorite, and quality wise it's my least favorite out of the three too. The metallics are lovely, but the mattes are just meh. I still like it, you know, but I definitely like Odyssey and Divinity more. Alright, so that is actually all of my Pat palettes. I think I just have a couple more palettes to show you that are like brand new and I haven't either tried or I've only tried once yet, and then wow, we're done. Lastly, I just have these palettes that I haven't actually tried yet. I've tried one of them, sorry. Well, actually I've tried two of them, but I'll explain it. That I got in PR just recently. So I got this ginormous like Patrick Tar PR package, which I was so grateful for and like just so blown away. I think they reached out to me to send it to me because they just started shipping to Australia from the Patrick Tar website. So I fainted a little bit when I got an email from them to send me PR. So they sent me Major Dimensions 1, which I've actually owned this in the past. And I do like this. Like, I've always really liked the matte quality in particular with this. I remember at the time I just said, like, it's such a warm color story that I never really reach for it. So I haven't decided yet if I'm going to keep this in the collection as like one of those pieces that I keep for brand's sake, or if I'm going to give it away. So I've just kind of haven't touched it yet. But they did also send me Major Dimensions 3, which I have used once and I am absolutely obsessed with. So this is the all matte one, and I love this because I love the quality of the Patrick Tar mattes. And the thing that I love about this is I have this row of more like neutral cool tones as well as the warm tones. It's kind of like, this is kind of like what I would want the Mario Master mattes to almost be, but I don't need to anymore because I have the Pat one. And I actually think not just because they sent this in PR to me, truly, hand on heart, I actually think the Patrick Tar matte formula is better than the Mario Master matte formula, personally. And you also get these like two like cream liners and stuff. So I love this one. Like, I've already used these 3 shades here and there. And this one is phenomenal quality. So I really like this. I'm so grateful they sent that to me. I remember at the time I wanted to pick it up, but I just picked up the Viseart neutral palette, like all matte palettes. So, and I actually like this one more than that one as well, just because the tones in here are exactly what I want. Then this is like a new brand from Oden's Eye. It's called By Us, and it's the Garden Busters palette. It's like brand new. One of the shades did come smashed. So they sent this to me. It's like an offshoot brand from Oden's Eye, like completely separate brand, but like owned by the same people. It has these like really cool, like little creamy foily metallic shadows. So I haven't actually tried this yet. It's very colorful. I probably wouldn't use like the mattes, but I'm intrigued by these, like, especially this one. I'm intrigued. I mean, that's pretty. They feel really nice quality, like really nice cream quality. That one's really unique. So yeah, I will probably have a wee play around with this because yeah, they feel cool, but I just haven't had time and I just got it the other day. And then Odin's did send me this a little while ago and I just honestly haven't had a chance to look at it. This is their new big palette, the, what's it called? The Eternal Twilight palette. I haven't decided what I want to do with this yet either because I really, oh no, that's right. I actually do want to keep this because look at this. I just need to film with it. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I'm not going to swatch this. I haven't touched it yet. So I want to wait until I film with it, which I'm actually going to do either this week or next. I'm going to film with it, even if I just do a short with the swatches. Because look how cool that shade is. I haven't properly looked at this. I honestly haven't had time between work and I've got some family health stuff going on that it's been hard. So, but look at this one. Actually, this palette looks absolutely stunning. I'm definitely trying this. So we will keep that. All right, let me have a look and see. I didn't declutter too many palettes, but let me pull out the ones that I am decluttering. So I'm decluttering 14 eyeshadow palettes, which does not seem like a lot out of my entire collection, but they are ones that I'm happy to move on with, and I don't want to move on with any others. So, nah. Yeah, so that's all the palettes that I'm decluttering. The rest I'm keeping. Like I said, this was a collection tour with a little bit of a declutter. All right, that is it. Let me know your thoughts. And if you've made it till this far, you know you're an absolute legend because I know that was really, really long. So thank you so, so much, truly, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. And I hope you have an amazing day. Extra special shout out to my Lily absolute legends, as well as all my other members. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, have an amazing day wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next time. Bye.